Okay, so thank you for coming to our second mini midweek meditation. And in the satsang on Sunday, we talked about the dream of fear. We read from the Gifts of God, Helen Schuckman's book. And I just wanted to first start off by reminding everyone of what we spoke of last week and how it's like not necessarily the words, but the feeling and the prayer of our heart that is what the Holy Spirit responds to. And so we're just going to remind ourselves of that and see, maybe even just for 1 minute, see if you can breathe into it and just really feel this prayer in your heart. Above all else, I want the peace of God. And if you need to repeat the words, that's fine, as long as you let them take you into the experience that's behind the words or contained within them. And just see if you can feel the desire to know God. And throughout the night, as we're doing the meditation, just try to come back to that feeling. If you're starting to mind wander, just kind of let yourself settle down into that feeling again. So we read from the Dream of Fear, and I just wanted to read the first 2 sentences of that section again. For anyone who just arrived, I'm just recapping what was discussed in the satsang on Sunday. So fear is the one emotion of the world. One emotion. And this is where it really gets interesting, because it seems like we have all of these emotions, but it's just one. There's just one emotion. Its forms are many. Call them what you will, but it is one in content. So have you ever really wondered what fear is for? Have you ever really sat and contemplated, okay, I'm afraid, I feel fear. And what is it really doing? Is it doing anything at all? And when we really look at that, and Jesus took me through like a really extensive process in looking at fear. And I actually had this series of 3 things, like it was like the 3 scary things that never happened. Anyway, I'll fill you guys in on that another time, but it's like, is it preventing what I don't want to have happen, or what I'm afraid that will happen? Is it preventing it from happening? And the answer to that is obviously no. I mean, it's not going to do that. So what is it doing? I mean, is it making me feel good? Does fear make me feel good? And does it lift me up? I mean, that's definitely a no. And so when we really explore what is it for? What is fear for? We find that it's just a big distraction from the truth. And it's actually untrue. It's an untrue thing that is just there and is doing nothing. And it's just distracting from the truth. And tonight's meditation, hopefully, will help to introduce you to this idea, this concept. But first, I want to say, and this is something that Barbara and I were emailing about this week. So, the most helpful thing to overcome fear is to remember that we're already healed. So, we already are healed completely. And so, if we're not aware that we're healed, it's just something that has to be looked at as, oh, okay, this needs to go away so I can recognize and be aware that I'm already healed. Because when God's son had the tiny mad idea, in that same instant, he was healed. And so this is just a reverberation of unawareness of the fact that we're healed. And so our journey really becomes lighter and happier when we start to realize, oh, well, this is just something that I need to give to the Holy Spirit so I can recognize that I'm already healed, instead of like, the ego is getting me, or, oh, I fell for the ego again. No, it's just, oh, okay, here it is. And what I found is that it might seem like we're going backwards, or like going into fear, or going into the ego. But what's happening is that things are just bubbling to the surface to be let go of. And so we don't have to make it mean anything. Like, we can just let it bubble up, recognize it, hand it over. Oh, okay, this is something that's blocking my awareness to the fact that I'm already healed. And that's what fear is. It's a block. It's just a block. And so it doesn't have to be any more than that. Now, the ego thought system tries to make it more than that. And like in that second sentence, its forms are many, call them what you will. Well, yeah, of course its forms are many, just like everything else here, just to kind of create that confusion to distract us. So I want to read lesson 318. This is a lesson this week, and it's something that Barbara pointed out, and I was guided to actually share it. So I'm going to read the whole lesson, and then part of this will be in our meditation. It's on page 459 of the workbook. And the title is, In Me, Salvation's Means and End Are One. In me, God's Holy Son, are reconciled all parts of heaven's plan to save the world. What could conflict when all the parts have but one purpose and one aim? How could there be a single part that stands alone, or one of more or less importance than the rest? I am the means by which God's Son is saved, because salvation's purpose is to find the sinlessness that God has placed in me. I was created as the thing I seek. I am the goal the world is searching for. I am God's Son, his one eternal love. I am salvation's means and end as well. So we are the thing we seek. We already are healed, and it's only a big distraction to think that we're not. So this prayer is beautiful. Let me today, my Father, take the role you offer me in your request that I accept atonement for myself. For thus does what is thereby reconciled in me become as surely reconciled to you. I was created as the thing I seek. So, meditation is going to be about looking at a forgiveness opportunity that has presented itself to you and that seems to be a bit of a challenge. So I'd like for you to take, I'm just going to give you about 5 minutes. Now you can sit and close your eyes and think about it. You can journal and write it down. But the main goal is to get in touch with whatever feelings and whatever thoughts you have around this forgiveness opportunity. And then in the meditation, we're going to look at it. So I'm just going to give you about 5 minutes right now to write that out or think it through. Okay, it looks like everyone's ready. If you're not ready, just wave your hand or something. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into the meditation. I just want you to get as comfortable as possible and take some deep breaths and just feel yourself in the exhale, just relaxing into your seat. Just let go of any kind of tension, like breathe into areas that feel tense. Relax. And I'd like you to bring your attention again to your heart center and feel the prayer of your heart. Feel your desire to know the truth and call upon Holy Spirit, Jesus, with whatever words work for you, and just feel yourself calling to them. It could just be, please help me with this forgiveness lesson. Or it could just be thank you or love you or whatever words work. Now look at what you journaled about just now and just see it playing out in front of you in your mind. And look at it with curiosity. Just loosen the ideas that you hold around this situation or person. Like maybe you don't know what's really going on here. And now repeat these words in your mind after me. I am ready to see this differently. And feel the desire in your heart to see this differently. Now, as you're looking with Holy Spirit, Jesus, at this situation, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Now, this is really important to be honest and to be open and to let the answer come in. What am I afraid of in this situation? It may take a few minutes to recognize what it is that you are afraid of in the situation. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes now to explore this with Holy Spirit, Jesus. And really ask with the desire to know. And if you find your mind wandering, bring the situation back into a visual in your mind and focus on it again and look at it with spirit. I'm going to give you 3 minutes now. What am I afraid of? And if it helps, you can even say, please show me what I'm afraid of. Now that you see what you're afraid of, look at it with Holy Spirit, Jesus, and see if you can find out why you're afraid of this, why this is fearful to you. And as you're doing that, asking, why am I afraid of this? Just connect with your willingness to let it go and ask to have it shown to you in a different way. And we'll do that for a couple minutes and just see what comes up. Now, there may be a few other fears that are behind the one that you just looked at. In my experience, there would be a surface fear, and then there'd be a fear behind that, and then another one, another idea or another form of fear behind that. So let's join with Holy Spirit Jesus and let him lead the way, and let him show you what other fears are here around this situation. And as he shows you, ask to see it differently and let him show you the unreality of the fear. And we're going to do that for about 15 minutes in silence. Now take the next minute to just release the whole story. Just willingly hand it over and just say, I give this to you. I no longer need it and I have no use for it. Now affirm these words in your mind by repeating them after me. I was created as the thing I seek. I am the goal the world is searching for. I am God's Son, His one eternal love. Now feel gratitude for Holy Spirit Jesus for helping to release all of these ideas of fear. Really focus on your heart center and feel that gratitude. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just extend that feeling of gratitude to each other. Try to stay in silence and just see what else comes up. When we do this type of inquiry, sometimes things will come up an hour later, a day later. Really pay attention, because these ideas and beliefs that are deeply rooted in the mind and just kind of hidden from us, it's just all fear thoughts. And so we want to just release them, just be aware and release them as often as possible. So we can experience the truth of what we are. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm so grateful for all of you. I love you. I bless you. And I honor you. Have a wonderful evening or day, whatever time it is where you are. Bye.